Jus Soli, otherwise known as birthright citizenship, citizenship by birth, is one of the most common tropes that people use in order to diversify not their personal passport portfolios, but their children's passport portfolios. And in today's video, I'm going to be listing the top countries that still have Jus Soli laws. So over time, you are seeing fewer countries maintain their Jus Soli laws because they do want to reduce this whole birth tourism scheme that is going on. However, there still are a lot of countries that still have it. Some have gotten rid of it. For example, the UK had it until the 1980s. The Republic of Ireland had it until 2005. And all over the world, a lot of countries had it, specifically in the Western Hemisphere. The United States was probably the most famous country in the world that had this law. If you were born on American soil, even if you were born abroad in an American embassy, you would be born on American soil and in that regard be a natural born US citizen. Now, although, yes, technically America still does have their Jus Soli laws in place, they have added more restrictions to kind of counter this whole birth tourism sector. So America still has that, the United States still does have it, but they are introducing more restrictions to ensure that they're not just handing out passports willy-nilly to anyone who is born there. Canada is in a similar case, their upstairs neighbour. Canada also does have Jus Soli laws. Once again, that country is implementing a couple restrictions to ensure that not everyone born in Canada gets Canadian citizenship, but all in all, both countries still have a fairly simple Jus Soli program where, in the majority of cases, you're born in that country, you are a citizen of that country. Now, the Western Hemisphere probably has the most countries in the entire world in that one region that does have Jus Soli. For example, let's just list off a couple of countries that do have it. Mexico, the United States' southern neighbor. Panama has it too. Argentina has it. Brazil has it. I believe Chile has it, but I'm not too sure on that. But the other countries definitely have it. So what that means is if you are born in Panama, in Mexico, in Argentina, or in Brazil, whether you have ties to that country or not, you are a Panamanian, a Mexican, or an Argentine citizen. And most of these passports are actually very solid. The Argentinian, if assuming Chile doesn't have Jus Soli, the Argentinian and the Panamanian probably are the best, but Brazil is also definitely up there. They do have a couple things that do take them down a peg or two, but other than that, their visa requirements map is fantastic. Now, a lot of people in the common world scrutinize birthright tourism, Jus Soli laws, because they always think that it's these migrants who only want bad thing for the world to do it, when that isn't even true. It certainly isn't true anymore. I don't think it was ever true. I think that's just what the media purports for people to think that birth tourism is a bad thing. Birth tourism, like many other things, if you're doing it with good intentions, isn't a bad thing. For example, you are now seeing a lot of Westerners, maybe Americans, who are going to Mexico, going to Panama, going to Argentina to give birth there because of the lower cost of healthcare, and also that way their children have another citizenship. And I think it's really hypocritical where people go, oh, I don't like it when Mexicans come into the United States to give birth because then their children will not be only Mexican, they'll also be Americans, even though they do allow dual nationality. I think that's really hypocritical for them to go that that's a bad thing, but then also them saying, oh yeah, we gave birth in Panama. Like, bruh, it's the same thing. The countries are different, but you're doing it for the same reasons. And now, as a final point, I'm going to be giving you my personal opinion on Jus Soli. I do think that in some ways it can be a good thing. It's a very easy diversification plan for a newborn, right? If you want to ensure that your kid has another passport, giving birth in those countries probably is a good idea. However, me personally, I don't believe that every country should have a Jus Soli law. I don't think that should be the case. I don't think that would ever happen because there are some countries around the world that are ultra homogenous. For example, South Korea, the majority of the population is South Korean. So if you are some Western European dude who is born in South Korea, you're probably not going to be ever accepted as being South Korean simply because you are of a different race. So in those cases, I don't ever see it being possible that any country like that, any country that is ultra homogenous, you take a country like Bhutan, would ever go, oh yeah, no matter where you're from, if you are born in our country, you are automatically a citizen. I don't think that would happen. Also because a country like Bhutan doesn't allow dual nationality, so that would pretty much trap you in that country unless you want to renounce your citizenship. You know, Jus Soli is all about whether it works for you and your future family and you think it will benefit your children. If you think it does, then it is a good idea. But if you're not too bothered, if you think that the country that you are a citizen of has a good passport anyway and you're not too worried about diversifying across the world, which I don't necessarily believe in, then fine, just give birth in your home country and don't move anywhere. Live in that country forever if that's what you want, which is fine. Not personally my lifestyle, but if that makes you happy, then good luck to you. Let me know what you think about Jus Soli laws and birthright citizenship in general. And if you like this video, you can click right here, subscribe to this information on YouTube. And if you want to follow me on my other social media, you can follow me on Instagram, I can run below, down below in the description.